Alright, so this is a lesson that I actually taught a long time ago. I don't remember when, it's probably been years, so I'll just teach it again. We live in a world, and I think most people already know this, but we live in a world where people only care about what they're told to care about. Because, yes, that is just how brainwashed people are. I've talked about a lot of different ways in which people are brainwashed, but this is just one of many. That people never fucking care about something that's important unless they're told that it's important. It's like people can only focus on one thing at a time. And it's also a mainstream media tactic, right? Like the mainstream media, this is literally how the mainstream media operates. They literally say like, okay, now you're gonna focus on Donald Trump, you're gonna focus on Russia, you're gonna focus on this and that and this and that, Black Lives Matter. And right now it's Russia versus Ukraine, right? The big Ukraine issue. And I'm not saying what's going on in Ukraine is not a huge thing. It is a huge thing. All I'm saying is that there are other things going on that people don't focus on because it's not the trendy thing. And when you consider everything to be a trend, including worldwide catastrophic events, you just look like a complete fucking idiot. And it also creates certain effects, such as when the mainstream media does randomly decide, okay, you know what, that problem isn't really a problem anymore, even though it is, the mainstream media just decides to move on for rating purposes, even if the situation is still a huge thing, they decide, okay, time to move on, and the viewer leaves that topic, never thinks about it again, never talks about it again, moves on to the next bullshit that the mainstream media starts complaining about, tells you to care about, and you just follow whatever they say. And if, again, a few of the effects are the older topic is most likely still important and still going on, and B, it shows just how weak-minded you are and how easily you fall into a trap of just not only believing what you hear, but following what you hear. And finally, it also desensitizes your ability to look at different things in the world, which also transfers over your ability to think critically about multiple different things. But regardless, we need to talk about what is going on in Shanghai, China. I'm sure some of you have heard about it, but a lot of you probably haven't, and the reason you haven't is because the media won't fucking talk about it. And by the way, there are 3 major reasons why the media does not want to talk about this. Number 1, because of course they're overly focused on Ukraine. Number 2, let's face it, let's just cut right to the chase here and tell the honest truth. The mainstream media loves COVID, okay? They are obsessed with COVID. If COVID was a person, they would fuck it, okay? They would. And third, and I think this is the one that's the most controversial, but also probably the most true, is that they're afraid of the Chinese government. The American and Canadian mainstream media knows that if they talk about anything that the Chinese government doesn't like, they'd probably all be killed or something, okay? Something would definitely happen to the US government if we dared to say anything about the truth about what goes on in China, because they're like major dictators and tyrants. Obviously, that is like the most obvious thing, right? But yeah, with that all being said, let's take a look at what is actually going on in Shanghai, China. So let's start off with this video here, courtesy of John Talks.
这个是正常人的骄傲，完了终于2万人，所有人都在叫。 要命了！才刚刚5分钟前头，俺们叫完没几个了，现在突然之间，所有人都叫了，要死。
So, before I continue, let me just explain what is going on. So basically, they are in a state of total lockdown, like complete lockdown. Remember when over here in Canada, the US, etc., when we were in a complete lockdown, we could still leave our homes and go outside or go to a grocery store to buy food. They can't do anything. Nothing. So what they're doing to keep people inside is they like taped people's doors, and if they open the door, it sends like a signal saying that the door has been opened, and the people patrolling literally come back and lock you back in the house. People are straight up dying from, of course, being locked in their homes. A lot of them don't even have toilet paper. A lot of them have run out of food and are not allowed to leave to go buy more. I wouldn't be surprised if people are straight up dying in their homes because of lack of supplies, which is the most common reason. But of course, let's just talk about the lockdown in and of itself. I'll probably get banned again for this, but whatever. Let's have fun and risk it once again. So, let's go over the facts. Number one, lockdown has been proven over and 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 over. I need like 30 more hands, but anyway, again, to not work. Okay? It's been proven over and over and over and over that lockdown and restrictions actually kill more people than COVID does. But what is their ultimate goal? They're trying to keep COVID at the numbers of 0. 0. Which means that they might actually be in lockdown forever. Because based on what we've seen the last 2 years, it's not actually possible to be at 0. It's just not gonna it's simply not gonna happen. So again, to recap, we've seen endless evidence that the COVID numbers now, like right now, worldwide, after vaccine and boosters, are exactly the same as before, which means that they don't work, and that lockdown and restrictions kill more people than COVID does. We know that the survival rate of COVID is still like 98%. We know that 0 COVID cases is completely impossible, and we're going to have to just learn to live with it as opposed to actually solving it. And we also know that the amount of people who have actually survived COVID as a result of lockdown is only 0.2%. I believe that stat came from the US, but it is true and most likely very similar for other countries. So any country that's trying to do a 0 COVID lockdown is not only insane and wrong, but just straight up stupid, because not only does it not work and it's not possible, but it's also counterproductive. You know, this is exactly like that Justin Trudeau meme that I put in my thumbnail. It says, "I'm going to protect you from COVID if I have to kill every last one of you." So what the meme is trying to say basically is that I'm going to keep you in lockdown to save you from COVID in the process of killing you all in a more damaging way. Ironic, by the way, that Trudeau actually respects, and I quote, "China's basic dictatorship." Fucking asshole. Anyway, with all that being said, let's take a look at another video of what's going on. So, I mean, this is, like, disgusting. I think we can all tell that it's disgusting. It's a complete abuse of power. I wouldn't be surprised if not only people are dying as a result of starving to death, but also dying as a result of suicide and other means, because, I mean, look at the way they're being treated. A lot of them would think, and rightfully so, that it's the only way out. You need to see more, though, so let's take a look at this other video, shall we? Drones are used to broadcast COVID-19 information because nobody can leave their homes. Just look at this insanity, man. Look, oh my god. People locked in their homes. Oh, by the way, it says here, keep in mind, I cannot understand Chinese, but I have a feeling that these people are not actually shouting words of encouragement from their homes. Now, the first video I played at the beginning of this video was people screaming from their balconies and their windows. I personally think that they're screaming, you know, to get out, because it sounds like stressed screaming, okay? I wish I could understand what they were saying, but I can't. And the screaming here, in my opinion, sounds similar. Take a listen. I don't know about you, but I think those people are stressed to fuck and they want to leave their homes. Anyway, here's more of what's going on. Shanghai builds large COVID-19 test laboratory. Wow. Fuck me, man. This exhibition center has been turned into a makeshift hospital. All right. Streets are deserted as cities put under a strict... Yeah, well, strict is an understatement. Anyway, we're going to end off this video by reading this totally sane article. Shanghai residents told to control your thirst for freedom amid lockdown.
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
Officials in Shanghai have set up drones with loudspeakers that tells residents not to protest the city's latest coronavirus. So they're not allowed to protest. They should also relinquish all freedoms, and happily too. Video shared on Weibo has been viewed more than 1 million times, shows a drone flying over residential buildings after some people went onto their balconies and sang to protest a lack of supplies during the lockdown. Okay, so apparently, according to this anyway, they were in fact singing, but is that really encouragement if what you're doing is singing to protest lack of supplies? If anything, I'd call that stressed singing, not encouragement, but sure, try to make it look as innocent as you want. Alice, the Economist's senior China correspondent, reported, "Please comply with COVID restrictions." Fuck you. The drone's female voice also tells listeners, "Control your soul's thirst for freedom." Am I going to get banned just for saying that you are sick if you agree with that? Do not open your windows and sing. Okay, now that right there actually proves my point. Allow me to explain. You are not spreading COVID by opening up your own fucking window and singing. You see, when a dumb person originally would hear the phrase, "don't protest," their minds try to do some mental gymnastics and translate that to, "don't protest because we're working to contain the spread of COVID." But what it says here is don't protest at all, not even from your own fucking window. Meaning that it has nothing to do with COVID because you can't spread COVID from your fucking window. Therefore, it's actually about control. Understand? Dumb people probably don't, but that is the truth. Despite this policy, a new subtype of Omicron was found in the city of Zhezhou. So, thank you for reinforcing exactly what I said at the start of this video. That even with extreme lockdowns and everything, it doesn't do anything. You have this insane lockdown that is like way past any kind of encampment phrase I can't say. And yet somehow a new variant still came out. Okay. Like, at this point, do I laugh because of the insanity or from sadness? I don't know. Both, which is less than 50 miles from Shanghai. Shanghai's lockdown measures were supposed to end Tuesday, but they have been extended in an effort to test all 26 million residents for COVID. 26 million people you're going to test. Okay. China is in the middle of a spike in virus cases with an average of about 1,652 new infections every day, which is like pretty average even for here in Ontario. The lockdown's strict measures have received widespread criticism. I wonder why. Some residents have had to go without basic necessities like food and probably toilet paper after panicked people cleared out grocery stores in preparation. No fucking shit, right? You know, when people were panic buying over here, it actually was stupid, but over there, well, we can understand it. The public outcry against the rule separating parents from their COVID-19 infected children hit such a high fever pitch that the Chinese government gave into the pressure and reversed the rule. And by the way, I'd like to just point out, if that did not reverse, how many people also would have died from that. You know, because, like, I know people are dumb, but stress and heartbreak and anxiety can kill you. Plus, the children probably wouldn't have been taken care of very well without their parents. Plus, you know, suicides and all that. But yeah, those are all facts people can ignore. However, the city's health commission inspector Gu Ganyu from Genshin Impact, told reporters some provisions are still in place, such as parents eating separately from children, not sharing personal items, and signing an agreement that says they fully comprehend the health risks. Even though there's less risk if they do that. The city will continue to implement seal and control management and strictly implement staying at home except for medical treatment. So, medical treatment matters, but food, you know, that thing people need to eat every day to keep themselves alive? Yeah, fuck that shit. Anyway, so for those of you who don't know that there are other things going on in the world besides Ukraine, here you go. Disgusting, but yeah, bye.